Okay, so we're here with another great personality here at the Llandewey community. Now, as we said it already, we have in here a festival, a reunion, and we are graced with great people, right? As you know, St. Thomas is the land of greatness, right? We're here with Mrs. Bogle Assegai, right? And she is a wonder to be around. I'm going to let her tell us a little bit more about herself, and so you can know for yourself who this beautiful person is. Nice to meet you again, Miss Bogle Assegai.
Nice
here
to meet
at the
you.
Studio
nice
99
Nice
desk.
to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Could you introduce yourself to the world who is looking at?
It's always a challenge when asked to introduce oneself. My name is Femi Bogle Assegai.
Yes.
Femi meaning lovable.
Yes.
Bogle, B-O-G-L-E, hyphen A-S-S-E-G-A-I. My entire name means lovable spear because Assegai means spear.
Yes.
And that's the name of my husband, Dr. Assegai, who's since passed. He's been gone for 5 years. Now, I'm happy to respond to your questions because I think it puts a frame around our conversation.
Yes.
And I'm also happy to just freestyle.
Yes.
But I prefer to respond to questions. So you can certainly start asking and then I'll take it from there.
Okay, we are having a beautiful day here at the Llandewey Community Center.
In Village Hall, right? In Mount Sinai.
In Mount Sinai,
yes.
Right? Tell us a little bit of, what is happening here today?
Well, today is, I guess, the third day of a 3-day event.
Yes.
And it's been put on by the St. Thomas Cultural Heritage Group.
Yes.
We have come about by virtue of a vision had by a cousin and a friend, Clive Morrison, son of a man called Seven. That's his moniker, if you will.
Yes.
It's pet name. And myself, many years ago.
Yes.
We came back, I think we were here for the funeral of my Aunt Lydia Kane.
Yes.
And we had a conversation about how we could give back to our own community and also about how the preparation that we needed to make
Yes.
for our young people and the legacy of our families. We both went to England as little tiny children, right? So we both did everything there, our elementary school or primary school, our higher education, our university, the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
And so in coming back into the community in which we were born, it was important for us, especially coming out of a racist society like England. We recognized the importance of having a strong sense of who you are and having knowledge of your heritage and your lineage and being proud of that and taking agency for yourself and your destiny, if you will. And so Clive and I had the conversation probably about 15 years ago. But this heritage group came together maybe 3 years ago or so, 3-4 years ago. Our first festival, meaning being down on the ground with the community, with the families, took place last year. Because what we agreed to do is that we needed to somehow revitalize, refurbish, and reinvigorate our community center. What was our community center? The Village Hall, and you should take a picture of that before you leave, is the third such center that was opened on the island of Jamaica. And the year slips me now, but it was during I'm not sure, it was before independence, but the Social Development Commission of Jamaica used this center to bring the community together and to train the population so that women were trained to do canning and sewing and all manner of domestic activities, right?
Yes.
And we also have a sports complex, if you will, attached to the center. So there are games, football, netball, and all of the ball games.
Yes.
So it's truly a center where the community could come on a Sunday afternoon like this one,
Yes.
congregate, break bread,
Yes.
talk, socialize, and just be a collective that would take care of each other, and that would include the police department. And Llandewey only has one police. I'm not sure that it has any more than one.
Yes.
That's all it had when I was here.
Yes.
And
Go ahead.
our clinic, which is our health center, So all of those persons would come together at this center and just understand and recognize that we're family. And by the way, that really is true. We are all family, because there's a lot of intermarrying I've discovered in the community. So we're all cousins.
Yes.
For the most part. Once, twice, thrice removed, but nonetheless cousins.
Yes.
So here we are working to re-establish the ownership of the village hall and this land, which was offered to the community by one of the Burke brothers, Leslie Burke. The Burkes in Connecticut, I live in Connecticut in the United States, excuse me. The Burkes in Llandewey own 90% of the land.
Wow.
Yes.
That's big.
That's huge. And so they're like overlords, and the population tend to look to them, tend to bow to them.
Yeah.
Well, that time has passed,
Yes.
right? We all have to do for self, stand up, and be our own providers, if you will, right? And chart our own destiny. So we're here to help and to support our family to chart their own destiny as it relates to their own social development, economic development, commercial development, all right? Property development. Of course, now you're aware that St. Thomas, the dear forgotten parish, after the murder of my grandfather.
Wow. Mr. Bogle.
Yes, Mr. Bogle. Paul Bogle. This parish has now been put on the map, and it is no longer called, at least
Underground.
called the Forgotten Parish as frequently as it has been in the past, because now we have infrastructure that's come into the parish. So we now have proper roads, but they are trunk roads or highways, if you will. So the roads that are still coming through the heart of the community, despicable, disgusting, atrocious, still need to be fixed.
Very much.
Because, this is pothole country.
Yes.
And I know that it's not just St. Thomas or Llandewey who suffers from this. So this is the next thing that has to be taken care of. But nonetheless, we've been exposed now, right? People can enter our parish far more easily, and the people in the parish can leave far more easily. When it would take 3 hours to get to Kingston from where we're here, it now takes 10 minutes. Right? So that seems like a huge stretch, but that's the reality.
The events that I have been privy to taking part of, it was super last year and this year. I'm curious as to how the community received the diasporans. Tell us a little bit about your experience with the not so close family members, because since almost everybody is family here.
I think they're suspicious. And I think they're suspicious because we've gone away for so long. So many of us have gone away for so long and not looked back. That is not the case for my particular family, because we come back every year, every 2 years, and have been doing that since we left. So they're used to the McPhersons coming back, the Canes coming back. So my Uncle Howard, that's his house right there. And my home, we come back, and when we come back, we know that we are an economic driver in the community because we're going to buy provisions, right? Groceries and basic things. So the local shops, they earn because we come back 25 deep, if you will, sometimes, right? But generally they're suspicious, and I understand why, because they feel as though they've been left behind and foreign is where it is. I'm here to tell them it's not. Foreign is not easy. It's difficult. And it's probably easy for me to say because I am in foreign and I've been there. I've been there for a long time. You know, I mean, I'm 70 years old, so I've been there for a long time. So I have that foreign experience of absolute struggle.
Yes.
Except for me, I would be lying if I told you that I went through all of that. Why? Because my parents and grandparents, my Bogle grandparents, engaged in the kind of pioneering work to lay the foundation so that by the time I got into England, I didn't have to sleep in a telephone booth. I didn't have to sleep on a park bench. I didn't have to sleep between houses. I didn't have to go to school in snow without boots or without the proper coat, without the proper clothing. But that's what they experienced and that's what they did. And many of them were ashamed of the fact that they got there and didn't find what they were promised, which was the gold. And it turns out that the gold on the streets were really the brown leaves in the autumn. You know, the trees would shed their leaves, and that's what was called gold.
You spoke of Paul Bogle very strongly.
Yes.
There is the picture that we know of Mr. Bogle.
That's him. That's
right?
Paul Bogle.
There is another picture of another guy in the U.S. By the name of, I think, Jennings.
Jennings.
Right.
That was a theft. They didn't have the technology to produce the picture that the British technology produced of Paul Bogle. My father looks exactly like Paul Bogle. All of my uncles look exactly like Paul Bogle. I'm going to show you the picture before I leave here tonight.
Thank you very much
my father.
for clearing that up.
And I can tell you now, my direct lineage is to Paul Bogle. My great-great-grandfather was hidden in the caves at Cabbage Hill. Right? And I don't know if you know St. Thomas, but way up there in Stony Gut and Middleton and that whole area. Okay, and so there's a direct lineage, and my great-great-grandfather, who was a baby at the time, has told the eldest cousin that I have on the Bogle side, who's 80 years old, about being in that cave during the rebellion. And of course, after the British decimated the black men in this community, Bogle scattered. They went all over Jamaica because the fear. I mean, the British had bounty out on the heads of all the Bogles. All of them, all of the brothers, all of the women. They were going to kill every single one of them. The Bogles who changed their names to Bogle, Bagel, that instead of calling themselves Bogles. And so today when you talk to most Bogles, they won't know what that lineage looked like because there's a silence among Bogles. And also there are many Bogles who are women, so that the name doesn't continue. Like I'm a female, but I continue the name Bogle, so it's Bogle Assegai. My children have all got that as a middle name, and I have stipulated that that name stays with the family, with the children, so everybody has that name. And only by doing that kind of thing are you going to be able to keep connection with your lineage and your family and have a legacy. So yeah, it's tight. My grandparents were coming back from England in the 60s when others were going, and they opened a bookstore in Warrant Bay, the center of Warrant Bay, called the Bogle Bookstore. And there are many people who are well aware of it.
Beautiful,
you know.
Beautiful. Well, you are existing in a time where you can be a little bit more bold as a Bogle.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want you to tell the people of Llandewey something that they don't know about you.
Well, I guess I could say to them that they don't know that they don't know that my history has now been memorialized within the history of the town of Bloomfield in Connecticut. My husband and I left England as political exiles to the United States. And when you're a political person, that's what you are. We're Pan-Africanists. I'm a Pan-Africanist. He is a staunch Pan-Africanist. He was basically an international activist who was deported out of the United States but came back perfectly legally, because if you're an activist, you can't go anywhere in an illegal way because
Yes.
you're going to be an activist, so you're always going to be caught, if you will,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So they wouldn't know that when I was exiled to the United Kingdom, to America, sorry, and that myself, my husband, and my family, the Bogle Assegai family, have been inculcated into the local historical society of the town of Bloomfield in Connecticut. And neither would they know that I'm a justice of the peace, I'm a notary public, I'm a board member on the Board of Education in my town. I am a retired college professor. I teach economics, philosophy, and ethics. I went to school in England, University of London. You know, I was an education officer. I mean, just doing things in the late 70s, early 80s that many of our people were not doing.
And I also get to understand that where assets are concerned, your family has great in coffee, has done great
Yes.
in the Blue Mountain
Yes.
coffee. Tell us a little bit about that. Be mere, please.
Well, I don't know sufficient to tell you a little bit about that, only to tell you that that has happened,
Yes.
you know, and I am proud, right? So you kind of walk in the footsteps of your ancestors and you fly with their ideas, right?
Yes.
You know, so that's what I try to do. That's what I try to make my children do. I'm also the proud grandmother of 6 grandchildren, 4 of whom are under the age of 3, because all my children decided to have children at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm enjoying them. It's fun. So yes, but I can't stop, won't stop,
Yeah.
because there is much work to be done. I recognize that our people engage in what I would call magical thinking. This belief that somehow they're going to be rescued by somebody. No, we're not. No, we're not. And the world has changed significantly. And our people need to know that and understand that and deal with that reality.
Thank you for coming in and having a chat with us here at Student 99.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm hoping that this program in Llandewey do flourish and do bring a lot of the promises to life.
Well, we're here. We're coming. So, you know, we're not going anywhere.
There you have it. We have just spoken to the wonderful Mrs. Bogle Assegai here at Student 99, the Llandewey Community Center. And I must tell you, it's glorious speaking with her. We see you on the next side of this interview.
Thank you. You're a wonderful interviewer.